All right, we're back. I have to explain something to you. I'm have done a lot in my life, and I'm kind of the go-to guy around here in the neighborhood when people have problems and don't have the tools. I have a lot of tools and stuff. And we're here. Look, here's our carving. We're working on our little Santa here and all that. See the little bag? I've already cut it back here and made it kind of. But I was sitting here doing the video, and the people, they don't know a lot of times. And I have a Vietnamese family across the street, and he is a shrimper, so he's gone a lot. And she comes to me whenever she has a problem. And she's a sweetest lady you could ever meet, but she has a very unusual problem. She has a tendency, when she wants you, she doesn't call you or nothing. She just walks over here, and if I'm in the house, she'll walk in the house. She won't even knock on the door. And so there's been many times where I've been working on the computer or doing something in the back, and she'll just walk in and just walk through the house till she finds me, in other words. And I've always felt that's kind of an odd thing to do. Instead of ringing the doorbell, I have a doorbell. But she's the sweetest woman in the world, and that was her just then. She walked up just basically on me, no, and then when I got up, she asked me, are you on the phone and stuff? And I said, well, yeah, but anyway, folks, that's what's great about live stuff. See, everybody wants to cut all that stuff out. Well, I didn't cut it out. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm just going to leave it. And you say, well, what about you're disturbing your audience? Well, you know what? We all get disturbed in life. And these things happen. And I think sometimes it's great for us to learn and understand that we're going to have interruptions in life. And not to get mad or get angry, even when doing a video, but just leave it in there and let people find out or see what's going on. And what happened is these new cars now, they have a indicator when your tire is low, all right? And she got that indicator, and it kind of scared her a little bit. And she had something wrong with one of her tires. And she asked me if I would check her tires. Now, she told me just right out, she does not know how to put air in her tires. Which, man, I worked in the auto supply business for a while, and I'm going to be honest with you. You'd be surprised what people don't know how to do. Let's just talk a little bit about that for a minute. We're going to discuss and work on our little Santa here. But she does not know how to put air in the tire. And I thought to myself, whoa, that's pretty bad. But that's okay. And that's what it is. When they see me, I keep my garage door open, and I do these videos and stuff like that. And so she just came over and walked up on me, and that you kind of, and I'm not going to be cruel because she interrupted my video, lady, and I'm not I'm not going to do this video because I got in. Oh, that's not real life, folks. And I told you that is what real life is about, and it's okay if she interrupts it. She got in trouble, and she came to see me. So I don't edit it out. I don't edit those things out. It's just like when I cut myself or do anything like that. I don't edit it out. I'll let you see what real life is. Well, anyway, she didn't know how to put air in her tires. And I had a little compressor over here. So she came to me, and she said, would you, I don't know how to put air in the tire. Would you help me? So I got my compressor out, and I've got my little nozzle for checking tires and tire gauge. And I checked her tire, and she said, well, I don't know how much is supposed to be in there. Well, if you don't know how much is supposed to be in there, then all you got to do is open the door. Open the front, the driver's side door, and it should be on the inner driver's side door. Your tire pressure should be there. And it sure was. It was 33 pounds for each tire, front and back both. A lot of people don't know that. That it's supposed to be right there on the inner, you know. So that's not saying that women don't know how to do things, okay? Because there are women that do know how to do that, and there are women that know how to put air in tires and do things like that. But one of the things that it kind of floors me, you have to pay for air now. Well, I have a compressor, like I said, and they know that, so she comes over here and asks me, would you help me? And they've asked me many, many times if I could help them, and I always do. I can't turn down people, folks, sorry. I mean, that's if I'm physically able to help you in some way, I'll help. Just like I work on the sets and do like that at the theater and all that other stuff. He's looking pretty good, the Santa Claus. But she needed air in her tires, and she didn't know how to do it. And I volunteered. Simple as that. And I said, sure. I had a compressor. I had all the stuff. And so now after I aired her, she said her front tire had been losing some air, she thinks. So I went inside and I made me up a pitcher full of water, put some dish soap in it. That's the way I check my tires a lot of times, if I feel it's got air in. And usually you can find, unless it's just a very, very slow leak, you can find the leak with the bubbles when you put soap and water on that tire, and usually it will indicate to you where the leak is. Well, I looked and looked, and there was no indication. So obviously I said, well, has it been, slowing down? Has it been doing this a lot? She said no. So it's just that her husband, like I said, he's gone a lot. He's not able to be here, and he might have just not put any air in the tires or recently or whatever it was. So we got that done. So there's a lot of people. Now, I worked in the auto supply business a long time when I was young, so I knew a lot about cars back then. Now, these new cars you got today, you got to have a $200,000 computer to work on those things. I mean, they just, you can't work on them like we used to. I had a Mustang I used to work on, all this other stuff. But you'd be just dead surprised, because young people, they don't, and a lot of people, they don't work on their cars today. So when minor things like this happen, they don't know what to do. And so she didn't want to go down and get air because she didn't know how to put it in. And so I did it with my compressor. I did not feel embarrassed for her, because I have come across. I remember one time my stepson. Now, he should have known better. I mean, he was a guy. He should have known better. But I remember one time he called me and wanted me to, something wrong with his car. And I went there. And these are stories, These are, when you live long enough, you see these stories that they have. And he was on the side of the road, and his car was dead. And this was a long time ago, so Anyway, I went to start the car, and I could tell when I went to start it, you know, the clicking sound. Now that's either one or two things. The clicking sound usually is the fact that you've got a dead battery or you've got a dead starter. Usually that's the case. And starters most of the time won't even turn over. But there was a clicking sound and it was trying to turn over, which indicated to me that he probably had a bad battery. Okay? So I told him, I said, you probably have a bad battery. And so I opened the hood of the car, and I turned to him and I said, now this has been a while back because a lot of batteries don't have this anymore. I said, did you check the water in it? And he looked me straight in the eye and he said, what water? So, and sure enough, it was a battery that needed water. And I thought, oh brother, you know. And I didn't embarrass him and I didn't say nothing. I just said, well, a lot of these batteries take water. And some do. I don't know today if batteries, when I was a young man, batteries, you did take water. And believe me, you needed to use distilled water most of the time and keep those battery cells full of water or you know, at a good level, or you were going to have some serious problems. Your battery was going to go bad. That's all there was to it. And when he said, what water? Then I went, oh gosh. And sure enough, I looked in the battery and one of the cells was almost completely dry. And I thought, oh man. And that will destroy a battery quicker than anything in the world. A lot of you knew back when we put water in batteries. Now, most batteries are like self-seal contained and all that kind of stuff. And so you don't have to worry about that. It's like, folks, I have a 2017 Nissan Frontier, which I dearly love, that truck. And I went, not long after I first got it, I decided I was going to check the transmission fluid. And, you know, this is how out of date I have with cars nowadays. I went to check transmission fluid and I kept looking for the dipstick on the transmission. And I couldn't find it. And I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it. And I kept thinking, where in the world is the dipstick for me to check the transmission fluid? And before I knew it, so I went and, of course, got on YouTube to find out where is the dipstick on the 2017 Nissan Frontier. Well, that's when it told me that the transmissions were sealed. You don't have a dipstick. In other words, you don't put transmission fluid in it. I think about every 60 to 100,000 miles you get the thing flushed and you flush the transmission. And to be honest with you folks, I did not know that they had sealed transmissions. I didn't know it. I had not looked at it. And it blew my mind that it had a sealed transmission in it. So, you know, lucky me. You know, it's just, I got to get a pencil, folks. I'm sorry. Got to get a pencil right here. And it just blew my mind. It really did. And I just, you know, thought, golly, boy, things have changed so much since I was a young man. So they just told me about every 60 to 100,000 miles, go down there and get the transmission flushed. A lot of people don't like to flush get your transmission flushed. They say it does harm to it. I don't know about that. I'm not really sure. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of people just still do not know how to do anything on a car. And you've seen these these funny they're not TikTok, but they're, you know, where the woman is sitting there going, I don't need any man. I know how to put oil in my car, and she was putting like Chris cooking oil in it, in other words. And that's kind of funny. It really is. But a lot of people don't know how to do anything. They don't even know how to change a tire or anything like that. And then when something like that happens, they just don't know what to do. And or they don't have a little compressor to do it or anything like that. So she got kind of panicky and ran over here and that's, you know, asked me if I would do it. Of course I am going to do it. It's this lady I've known for a long time. She's a wonderful little lady, and I've been through a lot with her and her husband. Very sad story. They're Vietnamese. They've lived over there probably, I've known them 25, 30 years, about 25 years. And they had a little girl named Stephanie that she was gorgeous. She was a beautiful little girl. And my girls used to play with Stephanie and Stephanie when they were very young and her age, and she was just a precious young girl. And there was a fair going on in this area one night, and she was about 12 or something, and she wanted to go to the fair with her friends. And her mom almost didn't let her go because she didn't think she was quite old enough yet. But she, you know, wanted to be the kind of mom that wanted to, you know, let her daughter go. She just felt a sense, but she thought, okay. Well, while the girls were going to the fair, a car hit them from the side. And she happened to be sitting on that side. And all the other girls lived, and she died. Her name was Stephanie. And that was the most horrendous thing that we had ever had in this neighborhood, is that little girl was killed. And I tell you, my ex-wife cried, my daughters cried. They were just overcome with grief over this killing of this little girl. And that's life, folks. That's life. It's a hard pill to swallow. But that's just... okay, I'm going to do the nose now. That was a horrible thing that Miss Stephanie is. So when she needs help, and that happened many, many, many years ago, but if she needs help, I'm going to help her. Because she's been through a lot. And that was a... gosh, now my girls are grown, my stepdaughters are grown. And Stephanie would probably be in her 30s right now. And just very, very difficult to comprehend the loss of a child. I have not ever lost a child. I have lost a wife to cancer at a very young age. But I understand losing a child has probably got to be one of the worst things in the world that any parent could fathom. So I just I remember that very well. Anyway, that's a sad part of what's going on. But today, with these new cars, you can't hardly work on them because, like I said, you need $100,000 to a $200,000 computer to find out what's wrong with it, because everything is like this way. And so it's just different. It's a different world we live in. But those little things like putting air in tires, changing a flat tire, would you know how to do that? Would you be able to? I mean, even myself, I have AAA now because I can change a flat tire, but I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes trying to change one on the side of the road is especially if it's a highway, is more dangerous than having somebody help you. Because I'll tell you what, I remember taking my buddy, helping him go from Oklahoma to Ohio, and he had his old tires on his trailer were junk. And we started off not checking them right, and we got about, I don't know how, not too far out of town, and one of them completely came apart, the tread, everything like that. There we're stuck on the side of the road with a trailer down, and we were waiting for AAA. He had AAA, and they didn't show up, or wouldn't. I don't know if it was just the guy was running late or doing whatever and all that stuff, but it took forever for them to get there, and they never really got there. And so I just got out and started jacking it up, and it was an RV. It was a trailer, not really an RV. It was a trailer, and got another tire on it, and we got to the next town, and I made him buy 4 new tires for the thing, and then we got to Ohio later and stuff like that. So just a situation that went crazy at that time. So those are the things that you sometimes have to do. So that's why I don't cut anything out. You know, this is real life, folks. I'm not trying to put on a show for you here. That is what comes on in real life. And you know, I'm trying to be honest. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this mustache. We're gonna draw on here. And so that is what happened. And I'm sorry that there was an interruption there. But, you know, we're carving and talking. And this could have happened, this could have happened the same way if you and I were just sitting here doing it. The lady walk over here and need some help, and we'd be glad to help, and those things. And that's what life is about, folks. It's about helping one another. And there's times where I have needed help, and people have assisted me in doing that help, and I appreciate that so much. And no matter what, you know, always take the time to show your grace and honor. Folks, so much has changed in life, and I still have that old respect that my daddy made for me toward a woman. Holding doors. Now look, I know how a lot of women are today. I know they are. I know they're rough. I know maybe they don't deserve the respect that women of back when my mother was around deserved it. But that's not what my father taught me. My father taught me to respect a woman. Even though I don't curse that much, hardly at all, never curse around a woman, just show her respect. And unfortunately today, that's not a very, that's not something people do. Man, I've heard young people talk to one another calling each other, you know, whores and stuff like that, and calling women that. And I just, you know, maybe the culture has changed somewhat, but you know, manners haven't changed, folks. Manners really haven't, and respect hasn't. And I just don't agree with things like that. And this lady, like I said, I'm going to show her respect no matter what. You know, we're getting just a little. I should have made it a little bit longer, but I didn't. That's all right. That's okay. Doesn't have to be that big a deal. Okay, I'm gonna do that down, and then come up with it here. So that was a time I was raised in. You didn't curse in front of a woman. You didn't show disrespect to one and stuff. And I know today some women like it. I don't know why, but some of them, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of men will do that to them, because some women like it. Some women, but my daddy would have, you know, shot me if I would talk to women like some of these young men talk to their girlfriends and mothers and stuff like that. And boy, just totally lost into understanding or knowing how to help someone. Okay, we got that cut there. Such a way. Look, folks, respect doesn't cost me anything. To respect you or to respect someone else, it doesn't cost us anything. Let's just try to use a little bit with one another. And what's the kind word or whatever you say to somebody, it may just be what they need all day long. Man, there's some people out there hurting, folks. I'm telling you what, I thought during the food bank there was a lot of people hurting at that time. That was before COVID, and there were. But man, today people are really hurting. You know, my son, for instance, I mean, it's luckily that my son has saved money and done things like that. My son is not getting paid. I mean, he's getting paid, but he's not getting a check because a bunch of no good, lousy politicians up in Washington, of course they're getting paid, are holding the public hostage by not opening the government again. And I don't care what your political views are or whatever, but these people are working and they're not getting a check for it, in other words. And this is really a sad thing. You know, and it's just a very sad time. And I told my son I would help him at this time because he works hard and he continues to go to work and he continues to do what he has to do. And you know, he has saved some money where he's doing okay. But you know, it's just such disregard for human beings and life and everything like that. So people are going through a lot, and I think down deep, I'm going to be extremely honest with you. I think, and here we go, we got getting our little Santa done, that people just want a little respect. And some people, oh, well, I can't bring myself to respect people. It's like the law enforcement or anything like that. They have their bad days, and you've got to look at law enforcement, and I know people don't want to look at them like that because they've had a bad experience, but You got to look at law enforcement as people who are just trying to make a living. And you've got some bad apples, but you got bad apples in everything. Any industry. Oh gosh, I've worked in a lot of industries. And in any industry I worked with, I mean, when I worked out the plant and I was a union rep and things like that, the type of people you had to work with sometimes. But 90% of them were just people just like you and I. And a lot of times they have troubles at home and troubles with their children and stuff like that. And when you show a person like that just some respect, I mean, you can change a lot in their lives and how they feel about a lot of things, because maybe they don't get it at home. And maybe they don't get it here or something like that. Now, of course, you know, to receive respect, you have to also do it yourself. You know, there's a lot of people that don't respect other people, and that's one of the reasons why they get it. But mercy, just be respectful to people, please. And you know, it doesn't cost you anything at all to be respectful to a human being. And I'm going to get off my soapbox opera here. I'm not going to carry this too far in such a way. But I mean, come on. Let's just stop with the drama and everything like that. And make someone feel like they're important too. Because so many people do not feel important at all. They feel like, you know, they're on the verge of having nothing and doing nothing. So anyway, I'm just saying, that's why I stopped the video and I went and helped this lady, because she needed help. And that's the way we should be. And I wanted you to see that. Not to say, oh, what a great guy Gene is. No, that's not what my purpose was. It's just to show you that is something that is free. It didn't cost me anything to put air in her tires. Just like it doesn't cost you anything to say good morning, have a good day, God bless you, I hope God is good to you, or any. Tell you what, while I'm at it, let me do, look at our little Santa, beep, beep, beep. Let me do a little, little thing right here, just a little doodad right here. We're going to just put it just doesn't cost anything. And when we understand and learn that, then we understand and learn that, and look, the other day I just went out to, I told a man, you know, I went out to just take a ride over and get me some of that Def spray in an Ace Hardware, because that's the only place they carry it. And the little town that has the Ace Hardware is about 16 miles from me. And I was just going to, you know, get out and do a little driving and enjoy myself and everything like that. But folks, I'm going to be honest with you, you can't even hardly do that anymore, because people are so insane that they'll run over you just trying, you know, you're just trying to, and I'm talking about, I go the speed limit, and I go 5 miles above the speed limit, and that's what I do. You know, because first of all, I don't want a ticket, and second of all, but people around you, they just can't stand it that you don't drive like a maniac. And I encountered 4 people yesterday just driving like maniacs, just cutting in and out of traffic and almost causing people to have wrecks and stuff like that. And that's what people are dealing with every day. Just it's a selfish, self-centered world. It really is. I mean, look at the politicians up there. People are without paychecks. people without welfare and things like that. And we're not going to get in whether they need it or not. I'm just saying people that aren't going to get their government benefits. And why? Because some people hate a president so bad that they're willing just, and maybe it's his fault. I don't know. But for goodness sakes, think about the people once in a while. And you know, I'm not going to debate political stance of why it's happening. But it shouldn't be happening. Because these are hardworking people. You know, I just put this in it. These are hardworking people who themselves are just trying to do the best for their lives. They have mouths to feed. They have jobs that need to, you know, go to. And let's just, let me get my V-tool here for a minute. But I'm just saying, I got out and I was just driving and there were people that were just absolutely insane. They just acted so insane. They couldn't wait 5 minutes. They you know, they didn't go the speed limit. They went faster than anybody. And if you were in their way or whatever, then they were going to run over you. It's that simple. And so I'm just saying, here, let me just cut that. I'm just saying there is no need for all that stuff. But unfortunately, people are just so upset and so messed up today. So when people drive, I'm not the only one driving that stuff. There's people everywhere driving in it. And then they stop at a store and they're just frustrated and everything like that. And then you come by and go, "How are you, ma'am?" or "How are you, sir? I hope you have a good day." And you'd be surprised what that can do. Or you hold a door for them. Or you just show them a little bit of respect, because I truly think there's a lot of people that don't believe there's anybody that respects anybody in this world. And they may be right in a lot of ways because of the way people act. But if you show a little kindness, even if it's putting air in somebody's tire, just show a little kindness and you'd be surprised. You would really be surprised and shocked that people, there we go, got a little, that people really need that. And like I said, I'll get off my soapbox opera, and I'm not trying to be a soapbox opera. I've just found out that, you know, it is really frustrating to get out there and know how many people have absolutely no respect for hurting people or anything like that. And, you know, now it's gotten to where a point, I hate to say it, it used to be people will even get in a wreck with you and drive off. That's the big thing now too. They'll be getting a wreck with you, and then next thing you know, they drive off. They drive off and leave you. You know, just because they don't have, a lot of them don't have insurance, or a lot of them don't have this or that. So people are under a lot of stress today, financially and other things like that. And it's not right. But you know what? It's there. And we're all facing it. And we're all going through it. And I need to sharpen this V-tool. I haven't sharpened it in a long time. And I need to sharpen it. So anyway, we're almost through with the Santa. And I've talked too much. I really have. But, you know, and you know how to do with the V-tool. You know how to do this. You know how to get your... and here's the... Over here is the bag that's in his hand. And if you look back here, here's the bag that he's carrying with the toys and the things like that. And this is an old world Santa, folks. This is the old world Santa that we have. It's not the newer type Santa. It's like the old Saint Nick and stuff like that. And here's his hat as we go by. So anyway, let me go and wet this little jewel, and this is actually taken from kind of a Mike Shipley type Santa. This is not exactly like his, but this is sort of the pattern that we have. And I could add some more things onto it, but I'm not going to do that right now for time's sake. You've listened to enough of me stuff. So let me go and oh gosh, old man getting up. All right, let me wet him. Okay. There you go. There's your little Santa. Now I could have made his I think on the Mike Shipley Santa, it's the beard is a lot longer. I could have brought it all the way down to here. I just didn't. I made him a little bit smaller beard in that. But there's our little Santa. I enjoy using the Mike Shipley knife. I really do. A lot of fun. Good knife. I think I showed you the Cecil Crawford knife that was sent to me by Cecil. So anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my our discussions that we do as far as and this is one of the things that I like to do, and for me discussing a little bit about what trying to be the kindness of life and things like that. I'm not an expert, folks. I've just had to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, most of that stuff I learned it from my dad. He's the one that taught it to me. I wasn't born knowing that stuff, that was for sure. So anyway, there's a little old world Santa, and there he is. And a lot of fun doing it. And I'll show it to you when I get through. I'll go ahead and paint it for you and get through with it, and we'll go from there. All right, well, God bless you now. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and may the Lord Jesus be with you all and every day. God bless you.